If you just focus in on weight loss, you're going to be very unhappy at the end. And I'm going to explain in this video. For those of you who don't know, my name is Bo Murley. I'm the founder of Alpha Her, and for the last 10 plus years, we have coached over 3,000 successful career-driven women inside our coaching program, where in just 6 months, they walk away looking their best, feeling their best, and truly living their best life again. If that's you, there should be a link below this video where you can learn a little bit more about our program and determine if it's a fit for you. But as far as this video goes, one thing that I've seen here in the last couple of years, especially with the trend in all the peptides, the injection, the GLP-1s, the Ozempics of the world is, and we see this with women that we speak to as well, they've become so focused in on weight loss. And I will tell you, oftentimes weight loss is not the North Star or the only goal that someone has for a couple different reasons. One, we work with a lot of women where they want to look better, right? And they reach out to us and they have lost, 30, 40 pounds by essentially starving themselves. Maybe they were on, some type of GLP-1 or whatever the case may be, and they lost 30, 40 pounds, and they look in the mirror and they still do not like how they looked, even though they're at their goal weight. And the problem is now they look very skinny fat and they didn't lose the weight in the right way. And what happens is they look really, really soft. They lost strength. Their energy isn't good. Their body has aches and pains. They're not in shape. They still walk up a flight of stairs and they're huffing and puffing. It feels like they have a heart attack. They're not strong enough to carry their own groceries in. So it's very defeating. And they feel really bad because they're like, well, gosh, I lost this weight. This is really what I wanted to do. And I'm at like my goal weight. I lost 30, 40 pounds and I'm still not happy. It's because you did things, one, in the wrong way. And two, you only focused in on losing weight. Sure, losing weight is important for, health, quality of life. I'm not saying it isn't, but that's just one part of the equation because women come to us and not only do they want to lose weight, but they want to feel athletic again. They want to have mobility and flexibility in their body. They want to have, energy. They don't want to hit walls at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They want to have more focus and productivity. They want to be in great shape where they can go hiking and do hobbies where they're moving their body with their kids, playing pickleball. They want to be able to do those sorts of things and really feel athletic like they may be, used to in the past. And that takes a different approach because if weight loss is just the goal, then sure, starve yourself, do a bunch of cardio, and you'll lose weight. But again, I promise you, if you just focus in on losing the weight, when you get to your goal weight or you drop a significant amount of weight, you still won't be happy. And I promise you that because you won't look as good as you think you will, and you're not going to feel great either. Because we've had women reach out. We're like, yeah, I lost this weight, but I still don't look very good. I don't feel good. Now I need to like tone up. And when you do all of that at the same time, like, yes, with women in our program, we want to lose weight, but it's also about just optimizing their overall health and fitness and getting them into great shape as well. But this is something that we see oftentimes where you become so obsessed and focused on just like getting a certain amount of weight off your body, and it's disappointing at the end, and that can be really deflating because you're like, gosh, over 3 or 4 months I put in all this work. I had self-control. I didn't eat as much. I cut out alcohol. I cut out sugar. I only ate 800 calories a day. I got 10,000 steps in a day, and I put in all this work, and then you get to the end of the path and you're like, well, this sucks. This is not what I expected. This is not how I expected to look. This is not how I expected to feel. And it can be very, very defeating. And if you're watching this, I don't want you to be that person. And I want this to be a wake-up call that you have to take a different approach. Like if you're doing those things or you're trying to lose weight, great, but also focus in on building strength and muscle, especially with women that we work with that are 40, 50, 60s, premenopause, menopause, postmenopausal. Like you lose muscle and bone density as you age. You don't want to be frail and fragile when you're 70 and 80 years old and you pretty much can't live independently anymore, right? So it's like really important that you have resistance training a few times a week. Focus in on cardiovascular activities and getting your heart rate up so you don't feel like you can climb a flight of stairs, and so you don't feel like you're having a heart attack, and be able to do things like we focus a lot on mobility and flexibility with our clients. We have routines built in their program to do that because looking great is one thing, but you can't put a bright price tag on how your body feels. If you wake up every morning and you have aches and pains, it's just not a really enjoyable way to go about your everyday life. I've been there, had numerous injuries, and it's not enjoyable. So like we really focus in on women increasing their flexibility, mobility inside our program as well, and like how can we optimize their energy? How can we make sure they're getting enough protein in? We really encourage women to move their body through different hobbies like pickleball and tennis and kayaking and hiking and paddle boarding and volleyball leagues and softball leagues, because it's so important to continually move your body, because that's how you get into shape and improve your cardiovascular health as well. And my point of saying all this is like, if you just focusing on weight loss, if you're just like, I don't care, I'm just going to do whatever I need to do to get this weight off. I'm here to tell you, if you're not working out, you're not lifting weights, you're not focusing on also wins in other areas outside the scale, you're going to be disappointed in the end. We've seen this, and we have this conversation with multiple women every single day, and we've seen it in our program. So again, if you're struggling with this, you can obviously reach out for help. But the key takeaway here is if you just focusing on weight loss, you're going to be disappointed. Like, focus on the other things as well. And here's the final thing I will leave you with is, when you just focus solely on weight loss, you often will find it's really hard to lose weight. But when we can bring a woman in our program and we find wins in other areas, is she getting stronger in certain lifts? Is she sleeping better? Is she make sure she's getting enough water in and staying hydrated? Is she getting X amount of steps in per day? Is she doing resistance training 3 times a week? Is she doing flexibility and mobility routines a couple times a week? When we can focus on those things, and a client shows up consistently doing those things day in, day out, week in, week out, it's funny how the weight loss takes care of itself. Because when you give up control, you can't directly control weight loss. You can only control the input. You can't control the result. So it's funny, like when someone becomes so obsessed with losing weight, it seems like the more it eludes them. But if you can get, like we do with women in our program, where we celebrate going up 5 pounds in a certain lift just as much as we do losing 5 pounds on the scale, it really changes their focus in what they're looking at as far as their wins go. And it's funny, like over 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of focusing on these types of wins, you'll find that the scale at the end of the day will take care of itself and the weight will come off. And then after 3, 6, 9, 12 months, you get to a place where you love what you see in the mirror, because not only did you lose weight, but you maintain your muscle mass or built muscle. You're mobile, you're flexible, you have energy. Your skin, hair, and nails look better. You look younger. You have your strength. Like, there's nothing more empowering to a female than being strong and feeling strong, and that's what it's all about. It's not about losing the weight. It's about being functional in everyday life. We'll see you on the next one.